The Juntuansi hunter-gatherers live in remote villages in the Kalahari Desert of Namibia in southwestern Africa. When I was last there in 2017, I met a man named Tamzo, who sometimes hears angry voices in his head. Once a month he walks to a clinic, 12 miles each way, to get his antipsychotic medicine, chlorpromazine. As I sat with Tamzo, his wife, and 2 children outside his hut, all of the 20 or so people who live in his village gathered to talk. Without hesitation, and with no discomfort I could discern on her part, Tamzo's wife said, "Everyone knows that if he doesn't take his medicines, the voices in his head will return. They tell him that he can kill people with his thoughts." Those voices come not from within Tamzo, but from spirits sent to him as revenge from a nearby village where, some years ago, one of his cousins allegedly raped a young woman. The spirits her relatives sent to Tamzo's village settled in him not because of anything Tamzo himself had done wrong, but simply at random. Tamzo's sickness is not his fault. A traditional healer was able to quiet the spirits but could not remove them entirely, so Tamzo sought Western medicines as well. The clinical staff who provide the medicine write the diagnosis of schizophrenia in their records. But that technical word is useful only for them. Other than a slang word that means odd or crazy, the Juntuansi have no term for schizophrenia or psychosis, and regardless, even someone who is crazy only when he shows signs of it. Because Tamzo, at least for the time being, no longer has delusions or auditory hallucinations, he is not crazy and he is not stigmatized. He almost certainly has the same condition that we call schizophrenia in North America and Europe. It's just that the Juntuansi conceptualize the symptoms differently. At home, Tamzo is a victim of malevolence. Only at the clinic does he have schizophrenia. In another village, 9-year-old Geshe cannot speak. He puts his tongue under his front teeth, repeatedly makes the sound th, and often drools while doing so. He moves his fingers in unusual ways in front of his face, makes little eye contact, and likes to be alone. There is a ratty suitcase in the village of these hunter-gatherers, but while the other children ride on it, pretending it is a donkey, Geshe just likes to move the zipper back and forth. His peers sometimes tease him because he is so different, but they also look out for him. Parents teach their children not to bully and also not to fight back. The Juntuansi are such a peaceful society that they are known in the anthropological literature as the harmless people. Geshe's parents told me that his problem started when he was a toddler and nearly died from measles. They have never taken him to a clinic, but were he to show up in an American doctor's office, he would probably be diagnosed with autism, since he has all the classic symptoms. His parents and neighbors spoke warmly about him. "Why should we take him to a doctor?" his father asked me. "He survived measles, and he is great herding the goats. He always knows where they are in the day or night." His father also said Geshe has a great memory, that he finds whatever they lose in the bush, like knives or arrows. When I asked his father if he is concerned about who will take care of Geshe when he and his wife pass away, he looked confused and then pointed to his neighbors. "We won't all die at once," he said. I would never pretend that the Juntuansi society is idyllic, yet we can learn from it. The Juntuansi have fashioned a society that accepts differences we have shunned. No one there expects a condition like schizophrenia or autism to define a person as a whole. No one in these villages expects anyone to live on their own and be completely responsible for their own successes and failures. In Europe and North America, however, we've long idealized the autonomous individual, dignified those who produce the most capital, and stigmatized those who produce the least. It is, in fact, because of this obsession with independence that Europeans first invented mental illness categories during the early Industrial Revolution. The idea was to separate out unproductive workers into distinct identities. In capitalism, mental illnesses and dependence on one's family became signs of disgrace. Geshe's father's view, in contrast, stems from the kind of society in which he lives, a society in which there are multiple caretakers and a range of social supports. No one in these villages expects to become the self-reliant individual we associate with the ideal person and worker in Western capitalism. And so people with disabilities live with less stigma. In a society like Geshe and Tamzo's, one would never ask the question nearly every American parent with an autistic child is, at some point, asked. Will your child be able to live independently?